All right, the American Academy of Dermatology has designated the first Monday in May as Melanoma Monday in order to raise awareness about the deadliest type of skin cancer, melanoma. But did you know that being single and living alone can actually be a risk factor? That's because the lifestyle and relationships can affect your early detection chances. So Dr. Sonia Batra, a dermatologist and co-host on The Doctors, is here to talk about the statistics and show us how you can check your skin.
Absolutely. So this was a really interesting study that came out of the University of Pennsylvania just in April of this year. And they looked at 50,000 people and looked at their lifestyle and their marital choices and tried to see what the correlation was as to when their melanoma was detected. And they found that people who are married tended to find their melanoma at stage 1, the earliest stage, about 46% of the time.
Why is that?
So we think that people are looking at their partners more and therefore detecting them. In fact, interestingly, a corollary is a much earlier study looked at how often men find their skin cancers versus women. Women tend to find them much more often at 66% of the time versus men 42% of the time. But much more interestingly, women find 23% of their spouse's melanomas. Men tend to find only 2%. So men can kind of improve that statistic a little bit.
As we say, women, we know our bodies, we know our skin very well. Men really don't care about it or say, I actually know someone who said, I've never gotten a skin checked and he's 43. Yeah. So it's one of those things where, you know, women are more on top of it, I think, than men. So, you know, and if you catch it early, what's the survival rate for melanoma?
So it's if you catch it at T1, and like as was looked at in the study, it's a 98% survival rate. So with all types of skin cancer, but especially melanoma, the earlier you catch it, the more treatable it is.
So what are we looking for? Let's just start with the basics. For people at home, you've always heard this ABCDs of skin cancer. What are we looking for?
So the ABCDs specifically apply to pigmented spots like melanoma, and we're talking about asymmetry, meaning you can't fold it in half so it looks the same on either side. And this is a graphic here.
So there on the left is the normal one, on the top for A, and the right doesn't match both sides, so asymmetry.
Exactly.
So B, border irregularity.
Exactly. And so you can see the difference in those two pictures because you can see a crisp, uniform, well-demarcated border versus something much more jagged and irregular. The C is for color, so a lot of us have sort of a roadmap as to what's normal for us. So if
some people have dark moles and I'm like, oh, I have a dark mole, that's bad.
It can be unless all of your moles are dark. But I think something that's black is always something that should be looked at, and certainly something that has variability of color. White, blue, red, mixed into the same spot, that's often a concerning sign. The D is for diameter, and that's about the size of a pencil eraser or a 1/4 inch. And then the E has been added more recently, that's for evolving. So something you've had that's starting to change. So 50% of melanoma arise from pre-existing moles. So we do see things that change over time can become problematic.
Okay, so now the whole point of this is you said men have a harder time detecting. Let's bring out our male model. We're doing a swimsuit segment later on, but you know, how do you check on your partner? Hi, I'm Megan.
Hi.
You're not my partner, but turn around. Okay, so
yes,
what are we looking for when we look at our partner?
So this is so key because it's great to have someone help you, but I usually tell my patients about once a month is when you want to take a good survey of your body.
Once a month?
Once a month. Because
so turn around and look in the mirror. Okay.
And so you should have a full-length mirror like this, and then you should also have a handheld mirror.
Okay, I have
whether
one.
or not beautiful. So basically this is a great thing if you're by yourself, but also great if you have your partner with you. I always tell my patients start head to toe. So especially the scalp, you're going to want to part your hair. So
what are we looking for? Like little moles?
You're looking for any kind of spot that's crusted, bleeding, or changing in color. You're certainly looking for just something you can feel. Like one good thing if you're parting your hair, and you can even use a comb to help you. Some people use a blow dryer. Is just go through, really look at the skin. He has really dense hair, which is protective for him, but you'll get a better view if you start to move the hair and really look at the skin.
But some people have dry, itchy scalp, and they think like, you know, I would sit and scratch and say, oh, is that something bad? But just go check. Okay, so let's go for the head and go down.
A good rule of thumb for that is if it's very broadly involving the scalp, it might not be as problematic, but if it's a new single spot, it might be more problematic.
So let's go down.
Yeah, and then certainly look carefully at your face. Try to look closely at your eyelids around the mouth. Then down the neck, and this is where you can turn, and you can either have your spouse or partner help you, or you can use a handheld mirror. Chest and back, and like I think you mentioned, you yourself had found something on your back. This is an area that people often neglect.
Well, you can't see, like mine is right down here, and the doctor noticed it. So let's go down. So now we have the back, and then we have down in this region, the private region.
Absolutely, and you should check that region. Just find a private
on your
area.
bottom and everywhere?
Check your bottom, check your groin. Those are areas because skin cancer can occur where the sun doesn't shine. So you definitely want to check those areas.
It's a misnomer.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not all strictly UV related.
And then feet. and toe, you say, real quick?
Yeah, palms and soles, highest risk sites in pigmented people. In fact, a lot of people, especially in Southern California, don't realize that olive-toned, darker skins are still at risk of skin cancer. Bob Marley died of an acral melanoma. So my patients are always really shocked to hear this, that they should check under their nails, palms and soles, really important.
In between your toes, too.
In between your toes.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. Melanoma Monday, very important, can be preventable. So you can find out more and check out links to a printable self-check guide at foxla.com. Very important stuff.